Hi everyone, Miss Lamb here. Today we're going to be learning how to put the reed and ligature on your saxophone mouthpiece. So first things first, we're going to take the reed. They're very fragile and they do cost money, obviously, to replace. So just make sure you're being very careful with these because the less we use, the better. So we're going to handle it from always this thicker end. As you can see, there's kind of a side that's got more weight to it, and then it thins out to the other side. This other side, the thin side, is the part that goes in your mouth. So we're always going to handle it from the thick side because that way we're not touching something constantly that goes in your mouth, and we're touching the side that's less prone to break. So you're going to take it very carefully out of the plastic, set the plastic down on the tray of your stand, and then you are going to take the flat, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a flat side that's completely flat, and then there's a kind of a curved side. You're going to take the flat side and soak it in your mouth. So it looks like this. You don't need the whole thing, you just need like up until there. You're going to do that for a couple minutes. So usually this is the first thing that I do when I take my saxophone out of the case, is start soaking the reed and then assemble the saxophone, and usually by the time the saxophone's together, this will be all set. The reason we need to do this is the cane, which is the material that this reed is made out of, needs to be a little bit, have a little bit of moisture to it so that it can vibrate against the mouthpiece, which is actually what generates the sound on the saxophone. So just for a couple minutes, it'll look like this. It does taste a little bit like a popsicle stick, but then eventually after a couple times you play, it loses that. So as we're doing that, we're gonna take our saxophone mouthpiece, which is currently on the neck. Most of them come with a ligature that is on already, but if it's not, then the opening, it's a little bit hard to tell in this lighting, the opening of the mouthpiece is the part that you want to see the screws on the ligature. So you're gonna slide the ligature down, make sure it's on the opening side, and then you are going to make sure that the screws of the ligature are going to the right of the mouthpiece. Okay, when you put it on, you want to make sure, and you can adjust how tight or how loose this ligature is by moving these screws. You want to make sure that it's very loose, like this, to start. You want to make sure that when you look at the mouthpiece, there's a slanted part and then a little bit of like normal for the rest of it. You want to make sure that the metal is below the slant. So if it's only going as far down as this, that's not gonna get the reed in the right spot. So just make sure it's a little bit further down. Then once it's in a good spot and it's pretty loose, you're gonna take the reed that you've been soaking, and you're going to there's a flat side of it. Remember that side that was on our tongue, in our mouth? You're going to take that and slide this ligature up with one thumb and put the reed so it's in between the ligature and the mouthpiece. So I'm going to do that one more time. So this is nice and loose. You're going to take the flat side and put the flat side and just slide it right in between the ligature and the mouthpiece. Okay, so it should look like this, approximately finished product. Now, to get this reed in a good spot, we want to first make sure that it's straight up and down. It's not like off to one side. But the other part of it too is to make sure, it's a little hard to tell, but when you press down, see how there's a tiny sliver of black? We want, almost like your fingernails, they got a tiny sliver of white. We want the same thing, so a little bit of the black mouthpiece showing up above. So once it's in that spot, you're gonna tighten these ligature screws back up. We don't want it too tight, so tight enough where the reed's not gonna move around on you, but not so tight where it's like strangling the reed, because it needs to vibrate to make sound. So just be careful of that. So this is what the finished product looks like. My mouthpiece is broken, so this would all be black on yours. So finished product looks like this. Now, when we take it apart, we kind of do the reverse order of putting it together. So we're gonna first loosen up those ligature screws and slide, very carefully, slide out the reed. Then you're gonna put this neck down because the reed is so fragile that we really want to make sure that we have both hands that are using this. So set the neck down somewhere safe, and we're going to get this reed back in the case. So handling it again on the thick part, we're going to very carefully slide it in to the reed case. And then as soon as the plastic lines up with the wood, you can stop sliding and put that away. Now for the rest of it, you can take off your mouthpiece. The ligature can stay on the mouthpiece. Most saxophones come with this on already, so this really never needs to come off unless you're like cleaning it out. But this can stay on even if you have one of those mouthpiece caps, which some instruments come with, that kind of protect the tip of the mouthpiece, which is the most fragile part. The ligature can stay on because there's a little opening for it in the cap. So this really never needs to come off again. You just might need to put it on initially if your instrument is new from the rental, and then you just can put this piece and the neck back in the case, and you are all set. I'll see you in lessons. Bye.